And welcome back. John Schaefer joins us now for this week's Dollars and Cents segment, sponsored by the Resource Center. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me back.
Good Thanksgiving?
Very good.
All right. Now here we go to Christmas. Just that quick.
I know. It's going to be December tomorrow. So.
I know. I keep reminding myself of that very same thing. All right. Today's topic is homeowners insurance. Questions you need to ask ASAP, because a lot of people, I think, don't ask the right questions.
That's right.
What does a standard homeowners policy cover?
Okay. Your standard homeowners policy, that covers your home itself. And the second thing it covers is your personal property, which is always great. It also covers other structures. So if you have a detached garage, a gazebo or anything like that, it covers that. And then the fourth thing would be your liability. If somebody gets hurt on your property, that liability kicks in and protects you.
So be ready to consider what you do at your house. If a lot of people visit your house, the size of the house, all sorts of different things.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. What about flood insurance?
So flood insurance, typically if you live in a flood zone and you buy a house, the loan company is automatically going to say, hey, you need flood insurance. That's a separate insurance from your homeowner's policy, and that's provided through FEMA. That's the only place that writes it. So almost every insurance agent can write that. The only difference would be if you have a wet water creek that's by your house that you think could potentially flood and it's not in a flood zone, then it'd be, in your best interest to probably go ahead and purchase that flood insurance just in case in the spring we get those heavy rains.
Okay.
So that's one. And usually on that flood insurance, it's already in a flood zone. It's stayed usually when you buy the house. And it is kind of expensive, if you buy,
sure it is.
So it's a separate policy. So if your homeowner's policy is $1,600, that flood insurance could be anywhere from $600 to $2,000 easily.
It's one of those things that it's expensive, yes, but so is a flood.
Yeah.
That would be kind of the ultimate nightmare, I think.
Right.
How are the homeowners insurance rates calculated?
Okay, so your homeowner's insurance rates are calculated on the age of the house, the age of the roof of the house. That's the biggest thing. And also there's basically different fire codes. And so depending on how far your house is away from a fire station, that affects the rates too. So if you live way out in the country, that's a fire protection 10. Another thing that really associates too with your rates is it's kind of like your credit, but it's called your insurance score. That affects the rate. So like in the past, if you've not paid your bills on time, all that kind of affects your rate.
I never thought about that, but I guess that does make sense that it would affect your rate.
Right.
What about when you consider the rates and all of that? Does that also consider content?
Yes. So that
Or is that separate?
So that's together. So
okay, gotcha. Okay.
That would be all mixed together there with that your personal property.
All right. Regarding a deductible, now, is that something that just comes naturally with the cost of it, or do you set it yourself depending on the variables?
You can set it yourself, and usually the standard rate anymore is $1,000 is the minimum that we see. It can go up to $5,000 depending on what you want to do. The higher the deductible, the lower that your insurance is going to be on your homeowner's insurance. So like myself, I've got a metal roof on my house, so I will doubt if I ever file a wind hail claim. So I carry a $2,500 deductible. It makes my insurance cheaper. And with a metal roof, I'm probably not going to file a claim.
You're probably going to need it anyway.
And that's usually the number one thing is usually wind hail damage that damages your asphalt roof. Second would be, water breakage, frozen pipes of that nature.
I would imagine a roof like that doesn't need to be replaced near as much.
No.
Okay, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Regarding personal liability, somebody like you can help decide what kind of coverage you need?
Right. So I've seen when other people come to me to quote their insurance, I see a lot of $100,000 liability, and you see that on your insurance policy. That I would not recommend anybody to get $100,000. You really need $300,000, and that's the lowest limit we ever put at our office. And I always recommend like $500,000. So basically that protects you, especially this day and age with younger kids. So if you invite, some friends over and they're out there hanging out, and the kids get hurt, then next thing you know, it could be a huge lawsuit against you, and that liability kicks in and protects you.
That bill could rise and rise and rise.
Right.
You hear about an umbrella policy. Who is that for?
So basically, umbrella policies for anybody. I always tell everybody, if you've got a big nest egg or if you've own a business or anything of that nature, that liability kicks in after your auto and your insurance has been exhausted.
Okay.
So if you have a $300,000 and that's been exhausted, that $1 million liability on the umbrella kicks in and helps protect you from getting sued.
And those are not terribly expensive.
No. I mean, they're, a couple $100 a year. But the thing you think about, if you've got a young driver, I always recommend that, because if you've got a young kid that goes out there and rear ends 3 people, And then next thing you know, there's 3 bodily injuries, and your limits on your auto are 100, 300. So it's 100,000 per person, up to 300,000 per accident.
Gotcha.
That could be drained quick.
All right.
Then next thing you know, they're going to sue you for the remainder amount of money.
Conversation worth having there. If you have a financial question for John, you can visit the website, resourcecenterinc.com, or give him a call at 417-882-1800. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. See you next time. All right, it is time now.